Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. This video in the lanyard series is not going to be a tutorial, but it's more of a showcase video. I want to show you some combos that I've done, and these are mainly going to focus around like alternating patterns and like cool twists and stuff. So I'll start with this one because it's the most simple out of all the ones I want to show you. This is a 4-color square stitch, so I tied a knot with these 4 strands, and then I did some square stitches here, and then I did some circle stitches here, and then I went back to square and back to circle, and I did about 20 stitches for each section, and then I tied it off at the end here, and then I untied that granny knot that was originally here, and I did the same finishing stitch up here at the top. And you can see that the tassels here are more curly, and that's because of that granny knot. But these colors, neon pink, neon yellow, neon green, and the neon blue, I think they look really good together, especially in the circle stitch section, because I don't know why, they kind of just remind me of like a piñata or something. I actually made another lanyard that's kind of like this, and it doesn't really have as much of that S curve as this one does, but it kind of curves here, and then it kind of just stays a little bit more straight here. It just kind of has like a one-way curve to it in a way. This one barely curves downward. So once again, I tied the knot up here, square stitch, circle stitch, square stitch, circle stitches. And this one, the strands, I didn't have enough to make it as long as this one. I kind of like cut them a little bit shorter, so this circle stitch section is a little bit shorter than the rest of the sections. And this, like, part of the pink strand, I don't know why it's like that. I think I knew back then, but I don't remember, like, why it was like this or how it became like this. If it was sun bleached or if it was bent too long and it, like, stretched out and that's what happened. I don't know. But that's not really happening with these strands, and these are the ones that were tied in a knot. So I don't know what that's about, but it doesn't really bother me that much. It's just kind of confusing, that's all. So the next one I want to show you is a little bit more interesting. This is a 3x1. This is a wall stitch. I start off with some wall stitches, and then I go in with some corkscrew stitches, and I use the exact same amount of corkscrew stitches as I did wall stitches, by the way. Then I go back to wall, and then corkscrew again, and then wall again, and then corkscrew again. And as you can see, I actually used super glue to finish this one off. I had it originally tied off, but I didn't really like how it was looking, so I just decided to use some E6000 glue and then cut off the ends when it was fully dried. You can see the colors I use here are blue, clear orange, light green, like a neon green or a lime, and then this like pinkish, like purpley, maybe like this pastel, like purple clear gimp that I used is very interesting. And I think it looks the best on the sides, so I'm glad I put the orange in the middle. And it kind of looks cool how it's like this strand in the middle, which is the only one technically, is clear, and then this strand in the middle is clear. And it's fun to hold these individual sections like this. I like it, it's really fun. It feels good. I don't know why, it just does. Now we have another one that's slightly similar to this, but the color scheme is different, of course. My 2 outer short pieces and my long piece are clear, and the middle piece that is short, that is one of the Rex lace colors that is 3 colors, as you can see. It is called the Trace Lace. And the colors we have for this are neon orange, white, and turquoise. And it looks like Aquafresh toothpaste, which is why I added the clear to this lanyard, so it looks like toothpaste and water. So I actually start this one off with the corkscrew stitches, and then I do some alternating stitches. I alternate between corkscrew and wall stitches. So this is known as the wall alternator, or like I've heard some people call it the wavy stitch, but I know it more like it's more commonly known as the alternator, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go back and check, I don't know for sure, but yeah, so I do that, and then I go back into corkscrew, and then wall alternators, and then corkscrew, wall alternators, corkscrew, and then I finish it off. And this is a newer one. I did this one like maybe like some months ago, and I think I did this one years ago. That's probably why it looks kind of like dusty and like, I don't know, more pale, or like, I don't know, not as like bright or as shiny as this. Oh, it's my light box. This is a light box, by the way, that I'm using for the flat surface. And now we have the zigzag stitch, which I know most people call this the wavy stitch. And so what I did here was I did 4 stitches, or hold on, no, that's 3, sorry. I did 3 corkscrew stitches, and then a wall stitch, and then 3 corkscrew stitches, and then a wall stitch. And every time you do that wall stitch, you should know this by now, but if you don't, every time you do that wall stitch, it changes the direction that your corkscrew stitches are turning into. So for this, I used a turquoise, this like bluish gray, and then just a regular old blue for the short pieces, and I used this holographic color for the long piece, and I think it looks really cool. It gives it a very like icy vibe, you know? Reminds me of like winter and stuff, like an ice castle or something. And this is one of my shorter lanyards, which is why the tassels are a little bit longer, to kind of make up for it. And I think it looks pretty good. This next one is not as advanced. This is a twist stitch lanyard that goes into a brick stitch lanyard. So I did some twist stitches. I don't know how many I did, but then I decided last minute that I wanted to turn it into a brick stitch lanyard on the bottom. And this, I was thinking about doing twist and then brick, twist, brick, twist, brick, but I eventually ended up doing it like this. And I'm sure I'll still make a lanyard like that one day. But, you know, this still looks pretty cool. And I like the color combo that I used. The black and white in the middle and the pink as the long piece, so that you could have pink on both parts of the twist. And I just gave it some tassels at the end to tie it off. I probably should have showed you this before the last 2, so I could just go easy and then harder, harder, harder. But, you know, I don't think it really matters. Now I have this. This is a DNA lanyard, if you can already tell. And the color scheme I used for this is really cool. So for the 2 outer short pieces, I just used clear. The outer piece, or the inner piece, that is a short piece, is silver. And the long piece is a holographic silver. And as you can see, this lanyard is a little bit more cloudy looking because I've had this lanyard for maybe like 2 years, maybe even 3. I'm not sure, but it's been kind of like sitting for a while, and the tassels are still pretty clear, but it's clear that it's starting to like cloud up and get a little dusty, I guess. But this is still a cool lanyard, and I love with certain color combos and certain lanyard designs, like you see when I twist this, the pattern just kind of like flows into itself. That's pretty cool. I like that. Now I have another DNA lanyard, and this one you can see I used a clear dark blue, and then on the sides for the short pieces, one clear for the middle short piece and one clear long piece. And this is really cool looking because of the clear blue. I really feel like the clear blue like makes it look the coolest, because I've done it with opaque blue and I've done it with light clear blue, and it does still look good. It looks good with any color combo, but I think this is the best. Like, use a dark clear blue for the outer pieces. Like, it just looks the coolest, and it looks the most like a DNA strand that you would see in some kind of like CGI, like science video or something. and this is a shorter lanyard, and I gave it shorter tassels. I could have made these longer to make it look longer, but this is still cool. And I'm most likely going to be selling this, and I'm most likely going to be selling all of these lanyards that I just showed you. So DM me on Instagram if you want one, and I'll tell you like how I can get it to you and sell it to you from there. But this is still really cool looking. And last but not least, we have this DNA lanyard. You can see that I have a more opaque blue, and you can see that it's kind of cloudy looking. I used clear in the middle and clear as the long piece, and you can see that I actually added a key ring. I added this key ring when I did the first starting stitch, because if you only have a starting stitch, it's very like loose, so you can easily like pull the loops up to put the key ring on. When the stitch is already, or the lanyard is already like tighter, like it has some stitches, or maybe it's completely like finished, it's harder to grab these loops up here. Like you see how there's kind of like a curve here, not even just this, but just, I'll show you this one again. You see that there's kind of like a curve because the lanyard is being pulled down. The strands are being pulled down because the lanyard is so tight and being tied into this lovely design. So it's easy to put the key ring on when it's all loose. And as you can see at the bottom, I used E6000 glue again and just cut off the ends because I didn't cut my strands long enough, so this lanyard is more small, and I didn't want it to be smaller, and I didn't have enough strands to make a finishing stitch and tie it off. So this is what I have, and it looks pretty cool in the daytime. Not even just in the daytime, just in any kind of light, it looks cool. It has a lovely design, and the shininess from the clear is cool looking, especially in the middle. But also in the night, or just in total darkness, it glows in the dark. This is really cool, and I've always wanted to do a design like this. I've never used glow-in-the-dark Rex lace before, but I'm so glad I tried it now. And if there's more colors, I don't remember if there's more, but if there are, I'm gonna try those, and that's gonna be really fun. I'm pretty sure there are, but you know. I hope that I find more and I can do some other designs with them, because this is really cool. Just hold this underneath light for maybe about a minute or two, and it gives you this beautiful glowing effect when you put it in darkness. It's getting blurry. It's getting blurry because it's dark, but yeah, you can see the lights, the glowiness starting to dim out. Not too quick, but quickly enough you can notice it. But yeah, it's still pretty cool looking. And I think that if I do sell this, I might charge a little bit more for it just because it glows. So yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know if you got any new ideas because of this video. Like if you're just getting into lanyards, or you're getting back into lanyards and you want some new ideas to try. Maybe these are some that could work for you, but of course try them with your own color schemes if you'd like. It's always like a fun thing to see, like what new patterns and color combos look good together and all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, I will be making more of these videos because I like showing these because they're super cool. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.